tractor beam out of commission, or this is going to be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
Hey there, everyone. How's it going?
How's it going?
Everybody awake this morning over in the United States? Probably not. What time is it there, John?
We're going to get like 2 people watching.
Well, that's what we've been doing like late all of a sudden at night, like 11 or 10 o'clock at night, and we have like 5 people watching. So who cares?
You don't want too many people looking at you.
No, we like to get on and just talk regardless of how many people there are. We don't give a shit.
Yeah. It's just a phone call, but basically on a screen.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Yeah. It's like we talk quite a bit now. Just almost every day now we're talking about stuff. But we thought we'd just share it with everybody else, you know.
Yeah, well, I was driving somewhere and I have you on like through the car now when I'm driving, and it went quiet and I was like, oh, what's my Bluetooth gone or something? And it's just you clicking through pictures. And I was like, this is like gone further than a podcast. This is just you talking about pictures slowly, and then I'm just going to email that picture to myself.
We're supposed to be joined by Jason. I don't know if he's going to make it or not. We'll see. But we're going to carry on. Thanks for joining, John. I appreciate you coming on this morning. We've been really trying to get you on for a while now, and it's pretty much my schedule. My schedule's been kind of messed up.
But don't hype it up, because that's going to make me. Don't hype it up and make me sound like it's a worthwhile wait to see me.
I'm sure a lot of people will get on to see you. I'll be honest. I'm sure a lot of people are going to watch this show just because your name is at the bottom.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, just we can talk nonsense and talk about stuff that we don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was your idea, basically. You had mentioned this to me. How great would it be? What was it? We were doing something on one of the shows, right? And you had said,
that was I was away on holiday, and I just woke up, and the first thing, embarrassingly, that I did was open my eyes and start watching you and Jason talk.
That's okay.
And you were going through background pictures, weren't you? Like, just looking at the old ILM pictures and seeing what you could spot in the background and what models they were working on. I'm always trying to find that shelf, like secret model that's on the shelf just out of focus or just out of the corner. Like, what's that? And like, is that a background ship? Is that a buck of something they're forming? Is that it's always interest going on in those behind the scenes pictures.
Yeah, and that was, I ran it by Jason, and he was like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And I know I do. I sit there and look at pictures all day long. And
yeah, really.
A lot of times when I see these pictures from ILM, them building things, I'm looking at the background more so than even what they're focusing on. Just to get ideas of what's back there and what's on the shelves and what we didn't, what we don't know. So, and we're addicts. We're always trying to figure out like what the hell's going on, like what they have and what they're doing, and
how they're doing these things. If you can see a model halfway through its build and how they're doing it, it gives you such an insight on how to build it yourself.
Oh yeah, especially like the process. Like if there's even a couple pictures, like it starts from like acrylic and then styrene and then putting the kit parts on. You look and you see them sitting there at a table, and you're like, oh, there's this kit on the table, that they're working on. And who knows? Yep. It might be a lot of it might be staged, but I'm sure a lot of it.
The pictures at the end are when you see like Phil Tippett with the Rancor, and he's like, it's fully painted and articulated and everything's done. He's just got some paintbrush just pretending to do something. They're staged, but the pictures of like halfway through the build, is awesome. There's it's a good way of IDing kit parts as well by seeing the color, the tan of the sprue they're using. If it's like an off yellow color, like a tanned color, that it's going to be like a German like tank or something. If it's green, it's going to be Russian or
Yep. Hey Jason, how's it going?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey Jason, you all right, mate?
How are you?
Yeah, good man. You?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too.
That's a perfect segue for you to show up, because like I was just talking to Jason the other day, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Wait 1 second. This sandcrawler picture that I'm looking at that's in Lauren's book, and where he's like crouched over top of it, that's like decades from when he made it. Like he has gray hair, and I said, Jason, I never noticed this the other day. Right, Jason? I was like,
yeah,
this guy's a lot older than when in all the pictures when he was making it. And I never really looked at it that hard.
I think it was just the stress of the movie, Chris. I don't know if it was that much. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it was probably the stress of that damn movie.
But doesn't that show how timeless Star Wars is?
Oh yeah.
Not only are the films timeless, the models are timeless. They've created something that's in a galaxy far, far away. It's never going to be dated. You're not going to have flares on an X-wing.
Yeah, like Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So good. Thanks for joining us, Jason. I'm glad you made it. I was hoping you wouldn't sleep through.
No, I'm up early. I just mornings are busy with calls and emails, but right on time and ready to rock.
I appreciate you guys doing this because this is like for me, isn't it? This is my time, my lunch break. It's I get from like 1 to 2 to like mess about and play with models and that sort of thing. So it's a good, I appreciate you getting up early and doing this for me.
We're taking away from your production time though.
Yeah. Can we just hurry this up? Yeah, got a tight schedule.
So I guess I'll start going through some pictures. I have a lot. Jason, when I was asking you for pictures yesterday, I didn't realize how many I had. I went through and I was like, oh my God, I got like over 200 pictures or more. And I'm sure we'll not get through all of them, but I kind of tried to figure some of the ones in the beginning specifically, just so everybody knows, we're kind of the plan in this is just to go through old ILM pictures and just kind of talk about what not so much what they're doing because it's obvious they're building an X-wing, but like some of them are like the thought, what's going through their minds at the time and what's in the background and just conversation about how a lot of these older pictures because I freaking eat them up. And Jason and I talk about one specific picture a lot, and to kind of give you an idea of how this conversation is going to go is this one. This
I sent that one to you as well, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. This is the one that I talk about all the time because we watch the documentaries and it's like, okay, they put on this fluff and it's like, oh, this happened and this happened and this is what happened, but they don't tell you the real stuff behind the scenes, like the inner office arguments and the sexual innuendos that are obvious in this picture. Obviously they're having a big joke right here about this picture alone.
Her hand's a lot smaller than mine. Oh no, there you go.
No, you fit it through. You got it. Do that again, John. Do that again, John.
What's behind here?
Yeah. See, you can fist it too. So.
Oh no! See, we've got to that stage already, have we?
Yes, that's how I work. But
we're talking about glory holes within under 10 minutes of being in
at 8 a.m.
Listen, somebody who she's looking at is making a joke about sticking something in a hole. There's just no doubt about it. Like these are the pictures that I love, but then like you zoom in on what's in the background, like
Star Destroyer pictures, Star Destroyers and the
stuff back there is really cool, but like, does anybody know who this is?
I think she was didn't she? And that picture was talked about on the behind the scenes forum group, Facebook group. And she was, didn't she work in the cutting room or something?
Okay.
I can't remember. I think that might have been the time when Mark Hamill came in.
Okay.
And a lot of the people came in and looked around. I don't know. And there was the guy who played Freddy Krueger. What was his name?
Robert Englund.
Oh, Robert Englund or Edlund?
Yeah, he came in with Mark Hamill because he was his roommate.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen those pictures where they're like looking at the Death Star and everything, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that was a similar time or if she worked, at Van Nuys. I don't know.
I actually found her name yesterday by accident. It's
Did you?
Yeah, completely. Because I had sent you the pic of her and then the camera AD sitting in front of that with the turbo laser, and both of them were named.
Oh, okay. There's two, you have why is it not doing that? This one here.
Yeah, so these two images, both of their names were listed, and that's how I know that she was the camera AD. I think it was Marie, like Marii, with her last name begin with a C, and I didn't even think to jot it down or memorize it because I was like going through so many different images that really caught my attention. Some I had seen before, some that I hadn't, but I was like, oh, that's her name, and then she was actually part of the modeling team and actually assisted with quite a few things, and I didn't know that.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, because I thought she was just some random person in a picture.
These had to be taken at the same time, probably. Like they were in the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're in the same area. They're at the same. Yeah, the Falcon is propped up on its side.
Yeah, well, it's turned around a different direction. It's
I'm not sure that bottom turret. Sorry, Jason. What was that?
Oh no, I was just saying to Chris, like it's definitely the pictures were definitely taken within a bit of time of each other, a couple minutes or within the hour, because the Falcon's probably on its side. They're by the same desk in the same wall.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's at least the same day.
Yeah. And I don't think the turret ever had the quad laser on the bottom of it on the 5 foot.
Well, we got the quad laser here, so like.
Yeah, that's quite the quad laser. Huh?
Yeah. Well, back in the 70s, this is a different era where you could make jokes and they're probably all messing around and stuff like that. So, but yeah, they were young. They were like, ILM back then was just like, it was like a frat house, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I like about this picture, John, is that like now you see pictures of the Kerber laser and it's there's a lot more degradation to it. Yeah. And there's black underneath here and it just looks like the thing is falling apart, but like you can see the rust stains on this and
yeah, so a lot of those models are degrading, right?
Yeah.
They look like they're crumbling, like powdered, like sort of like you see it on the Neb B at the top, you see it on like X wings and B wings and stuff. I don't know if it's the flow quill has started breaking down or the primer has started breaking down or the plastic. It's got to be 40 odd years. It's a shame that they're getting like that.
It's probably all the cigarette smoke that is adhered to it.
Eaten through.
That too.
I mean, back then people smoked like chimneys, and I'm sure every one of these models has nothing.
They were building these with cigarettes hanging out of their mouths for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like,
dude, there was actually an image I didn't show you, but I didn't send it over last night. But one of the images in my folder, there's a guy sitting there and he's got all these paints that he's washing together, kind of mixing and testing colors. And he's got solvents and he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I'm like, this guy is 3 seconds away from getting lit on fire.
Mm.
They got the ashtray there.
Oh yeah, I mean, how old are you, John?
40.
Okay, so you're almost as old as we are. But ashtrays were everywhere back in the 70s. They were in everything. They were in cars. They were everywhere you walked.
Yeah, my mum used to smoke like a chimney, and we had big glass ashtrays.
Yeah, exactly. But like, look at John here. Like his maroon pants and maroon shirt, man, he is pimping out for sure.
He looks like a pimp, yeah.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this, Jason. John probably.
We did. Remember I said that?
Yeah. John, this guy here probably. We were trying to figure out who the one was that went through all the women, and it's definitely John, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get that's all fun and game stuff, but like let's get.
That's not fun and games, is it? That's
no.
dreadful.
This is dreadful. Like what this is.
That's how my models arrive.
Yeah, that's definitely John's packing right there. Right?
That's one of mine.
No, they have blue foam. Yours is like a yellow orange foam wrapped around it.
There's no disgusting old underwear in there or old jackets, soiled jackets in there like I wrap up models in.
Not yet. I haven't gotten that yet. But no, your models don't. I have, like I said, your models. I've only ever gotten one that had a piece come off. Oh, the tower did. Just like one or two pieces. Not much.
No, I mean I send a lot, and so I mean once or twice I've had to have them repaired and that sort of thing. But they're models, right? If you post them to America or across the pond, it's not good for them. They're not designed to travel.
No, they're definitely not. There's so many delicate, small pieces, and like you just have like a dab of glue on it, and it could just fall off or break off. And I actually had the Lassie Henning Y-wing go to Christian, and a weird part of it broke off. You know the ring, the back ring. It has those two little nubs that the fin slides in. Well, those two.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Those two little nubs broke off, and they're part of the cast. I was surprised. I thought, the ring's okay. I understand that, but the little
you'd expect the break to happen where the glue is.
Right.
Yeah.
This was not. This is Parminder, right? This is Parminder. John ships his models and sofa cushions.
I have a deal. I have a deal going on with the local sofa company.
Yeah.
I get all their foam.
Hey, it's cheap, it's free, and it works, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I honestly, John, I wouldn't have it any other way. If you send it in like bubble wrap, I'd be like, this isn't right. This isn't the experience.
But bubble wrap works to a certain extent, but stuff like, I mean, I've just sent Tony's typewriter today, so look, we're joking aside, he must be watching this thinking, shit, what's mine going to arrive like? But I use a bit of foam in there and polystyrene and bubble wrap. You just got to try and be as careful as you can. But accidents happen. And I always try and do the quickest delivery, so it doesn't hang about and get kicked and that sort of
thing. Yeah, we talk about that all the time, Jason.
The quickest one was at your house, Chris.
That was like Star Trek transport fast. That was that fast.
I don't understand. It defied the whole
laws of nature,
laws of gravity and time.
They had a plane going out that afternoon. The package got on it, and that was it.
Yeah. I was stunned when that happened. I did double take. I'm like, hold on, that can't be from John. There's just no freaking way.
The nearest airport from me is an hour away. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Was that next day?
Yeah, it was next day. Yeah. 24 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
So the mystery woman's name is Connie McCrum, and she didn't work in the model shop. My apologies. She was
this one.
Yep. She was the film librarian. So she did editorial work for the movies.
She's definitely Connie.
Yeah. She's cold.
Yeah. This is one of those pictures that their kids look back and they're like, my grandmother looks like that. Yeah. So
that was that smashed up picture of the X-wing, right? That was wasn't that from one of the tours? That was,
I believe so. Yes.
That wasn't
probably.
That was the was it the Myth tour? Was it something Myth? What was it?
I think it was the Mom tour in San Francisco or Japan.
Yeah, Magical Myth. Yeah.
Because quite a few of them got. That's where some of the damage and repair happens, right? And it's great that you brought that up, John, because some of the reference images used today, people don't realize like this piece didn't originally go there or here, and this was adhered in the wrong place or it was touched up to put back in the next exhibit, and they did it, without remembering. How was this done 20 years ago? How did we do this when we were in the model shop for the film? And they just picked pieces up. For the most part, they got about 95% correct. But every once in a while, I'll see models that people have built using reference pictures from the exhibits, and that they use an exhibit reference image because some of the pieces are placed incorrectly.
Yeah, specifically, the Y-wing at the top that had the barrels on it, the BF-109 barrels, they've been replaced with like forks for the handlebars on the motorbikes. Yeah. Yep. And even on the Star Destroyer in the background, you can see the top. I can't remember what ship they are. 1/700 scale. Tell me a ship. The pointed like barrels that go around the top of that. I think it's the Musashi. They changed because they kept coming off. So yeah, you're quite right. You got to be careful what ref you take.
The top of the sandcrawler in the back, right? Those barrels.
Yeah.
The Sat Bs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard pressed to find a model that hasn't had that happen to it.
Yeah. I thought I put this one in, because you've been working on the Nebi. I have a cold. Sorry. I appreciate. I apologize ahead of time. I actually had strep throat, but so how much of this you got done now, John? Is it done yet or what?
Just got to do the final mist coat.
Wow.
Pretty damn close. Show us, John.
How about that for progress? Some elastic bands.
It's close.
There you go. That's about as much as I've done.
Pretty damn close.
Ties and rubber bands will always be a friend.
Yeah.
I don't use rubber bands that much.
But I chose that because
ties.
There's stuff going on in the background.
Yeah.
There's
what's over here? Oh shit, wrong button. What's over here? What's this?
So that's
the back of it.
That's the back of the frigate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the mugs straight away. the coffee mugs.
Oh, those 70s mugs. Yeah, we probably all had those when we were kids, right?
Yeah, I think I've still got some of those left. But so that's the massive Falcon that they use for the Lando shot. If you go down, keep going down.
Oh, okay, this one.
Yeah, and then on it is an 80 body.
A what? AT-AT body,
AT-AT body, yeah.
And then
look at the lamp. Doesn't that look like the Slave One?
Well, this is Jedi, so no, this is Empire. That's Empire. Yeah. It looks a lot like it. Wow,
that's the spray booth, isn't it? That would have been very close. I mean, I don't think that's finished, isn't it? Yeah, that wouldn't have been. Steve Gawley's still got his apron on from spraying, I think. So
I actually saw a lot of pictures where this looks like it's a spray booth and a heat like they put heat lamps in here to heat
to cure, yeah.
To cure, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of pictures where it was lit red. But
and again, you can see the Joe Johnston sketch at the background of the frigate. If you go right to the back,
here.
There you go. There's one there, and there's one to the right as well on the wall back
here.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, this is how my table looks. Okay, you'll see some pictures where the tables are clean, and those are staged because this is how your table looks.
Yeah, working table is a mess always.
Yeah.
If I flip the camera around now, it'll be very similar.
I have to clean up every day, or else it drives me nuts.
Look at those kids in the background.
Here's where it's lit up. Yeah. But it's too bad these are out of focus because I'd love to see which ones are open, which ones are closed, Do we think this is staged? I think this is staged.
I don't know. Lorne's laughing. He's kind of
I think that's in real time.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have gray hair like in the Sandcrawler picture.
I don't know.
So I thought this would be a good one to put up because,
with a die-cast type.
Yeah, George apparently went through everything and just I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, and I didn't realize there were two different sized tie interceptors.
Yeah, so those are maquettes, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would they have used these little ones for? Background or what?
Yeah, they're the die-cast toys. Are they Kenner toys?
Yeah, those Kenner die-cast.
Yeah. Look at the big radar dish back, the big Star Destroyer piece back here.
Yeah.
George has been wearing the same shirt for 47 years, huh?
Dude,
yeah,
how can anybody wear flannel every day of their life?
And it's hot there, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're all in sweaters. What do you call them? Jumpers? They're all in jumpers.
Jumpers.
Yeah. I think we got Parminder here. Rebel Spy, right? That's Parminder. Neb B is crazy though. Like honestly, Neb B is like there's so many different ships just cobbled together.
It's this is going to sound strange saying this. It's a mess. Yeah. A beautiful mess.
It is.
It's just literally. I mean, I'm fiddling about with it now, just trying to get my head around it, and it's some things they've done like in a strange way, and I can't work it out why they've done it in a time-consuming way, and then the others, it literally is just parts just cobbled together. It's amazing how it's still held together because there's no sort of like nice meeting points where they all glue together. There's no nice bonding area. It's just plonked together. Everything is blip, 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 blip.
It's weird. It's a weird ship, but so cool. I love the different colors.
There definitely seems to be a lack of rhyme or reason with that particular ship more so than any others.
See, now this is staged because it's too clean.
There's paper towels.
He's covering up something so you can't see back there.
Well, I think I think they put that up so you can see all the X-Wings.
Oh no, it's not. That ties in the rack, isn't it? It's like a gun rack with a tie
it has on a rack.
Yeah, I took notice that in another picture. They used a gun rack to hang up these ties.
Yeah.
But you think he's covering something or just to show like
I think it's to show
contrast. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, see there's the picture, the thing back there. And the tie rack.
Yeah.
Same day for sure.
That's got to be one of the most famous ILM pictures, isn't it? With the and look at the background. There's a template to the tie wings. That go to the right, keep going right. Stop. There you go. There. That's the template of where they've sprayed the tie wings. They've got
over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know there was a ton of images to go through, Chris, but I sent you a good one where they had the cast of the tie parts lined up.
Cast? Yeah, I did see that. I'll get to that one.
I just I like Lorne's shorts and the fact he's holding a wrench.
Those are short shorts.
They're actually not as short as the pink boom guy. But
he's not in Tunisia, is he? He's just in the warehouse. So.
Yeah.
The wrench and the short shorts.
Joe Johnston's sitting down the corner like a naughty boy on the left there. Look.
So, what's this? That's a weird picture. They had Frank. Is it Frank Franzetta, the artist? Frank Frazetta.
Yeah, they have his pictures on the wall. I think Joe Johnston loved him as an artist. So
okay,
there's all sorts of things.
Here's my question: where are all the pinups? Like, they had pinups everywhere in here. Like that's what they did
in the
back
models,
in the 70s.
They're in the cockpit of the Falcon and the blockade runner.
Yeah.
Well, they had to take them all down when Daddy George came.
When George came, yeah.
Yeah, when the boss turned up. Oh yeah,
this is a cool one.
So that's an ROTJ cast of a Y-wing. So that's the parts that I've got at the that I bought off the prop store.
Oh, you have this part.
Yeah, but not of this model. But it would have been from that.
Is this piece a buck or a cast?
That's cast.
That's cast. Okay.
Yeah, that's a quick, dirty cast. Just
solid cast too, huh?
Yeah, they needed them. I
mean, this is a recent pick, but it's just cool to see this model. Yeah, it's cool to see this model and this this close up.
Yeah, that's all they did to it. They put the yellow stripe on it, and I think that was it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That gantry that he's building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all just plastruct, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
That won't be any. I don't think you'll find any kit parts in that. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but that's some intricate model building. That is.
Where was this? What is this exactly? I don't even know.
It's for A New Hope, and I think it's. Is it when the Falcon comes into the Death Star?
Falcon comes into when the Falcon arrives in the entry.
Okay. I mean, look how messy.
Chris, another future build for you.
No.
Look at his hand though. He's holding the Landspeeder figure.
Yeah, it's back here. The land speeder is back here.
The $1 million man.
There's one down here too.
There you go.
There's a naked one. Yeah. No, I saw. I've seen pictures of the one that Lee Ralph built, and I don't even want to try that. Like,
the Return of the Jedi Tower that Lee did. Yeah,
I'm all thumbs. Like, I will those if I try to glue pieces like that together, they're gonna be sticking to my thumbs every single day. Like, it drives me nuts.
The domes of this Star Destroyer's killed me.
Really?
Literally, just I don't even want to look at it anymore.
John doesn't have any fingerprints left. But seriously,
no, all my fingerprints are all over the models.
when I put a kit part on, it doesn't stick to the model; it sticks to my thumb. And then when I pull it off, there's a piece. Every person that gets a model from me has a little piece of my skin on it somewhere, somehow. No doubt about it.
It's like CA, like super glue, we call it, but CA is the most like stickiest stuff around, isn't it? Right? It literally just
except for what you want it to stick it to.
But how is it that just the pressure of your finger is stickier than the part going on the model? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Let's see. Who's this guy? I don't know him.
Oh, he's on the tip of my tongue. What's his I can't remember.
There's a lot of people I'm not up to date on a lot of the names. I recently just started learning a lot of these guys' names.
Yeah. He's in the background there as well.
Yep. Mess. And every single workshop that has a garbage can has a table on top of it. I don't know if you guys have ever.
Yeah. Everything's a makeshift workspace.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how that goes. I've turned my laundry room into a workspace. I've turned my kitchen into a workspace. Every place.
My table is so filled with stuff that I'm working on my lap normally instead of on the table.
Yeah, you're so right. I've got a huge table here, and I'm working on something that's like that big.
And
Steve Gorley working on the TIE wing, the X1 wings, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh no, yeah, it's the X1. Yeah.
X1, yeah. Oh, that's an old wire reel.
Makeshift table again.
Makeshift table again. Yep.
I reckon that's probably, is that a Panther G box? I reckon.
Yes.
So the wheels. Yeah, it's a Panther G box.
You can see the bottom. It's like I can't get rid of this bar somehow. I could, but I don't want to fiddle with it. Oh, there we go. Still can't see it that well. This was an interesting one. I've seen this a lot.
It's weird that he's got Boba Fett's got some bounty down the bottom or some co-pilots, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is weird. I forget. Is the seat down? Is there 2 seats down below? I forget.
There's 2 seats. Yeah.
Is there? Okay. Yeah, I always wondered why there was a lower. Hold on. Let me put you on. There we go.
They're just kid seats, so I don't think they're accurate.
I think at the time when there was still supposed to be an army of super troopers, right?
Yep.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, Jason and I were. Jason, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Jason and I were trying to figure this guy's name out for a little while. Like I don't
want to pronounce it because I'll get it wrong, but I know who it is now. Yeah.
Just about every Slave 1 picture you see him being built, he's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was on Judge Judy the other day.
Okay, this is what I want to see here. Shimano. I can't read that.
Those are a bunch of boats.
Yeah. There was some organization. They had the boats on one shelf.
So that's on the Falcon. That's AMT. That's the pay hauler. Not pay hauler. I've got it in the other room. It's it's the pay hauler. Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the big Falcon.
There's
a boat on top of it. See that? So there's a boat on top of it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Literally like
built.
Part of a boat. Yeah. Maybe they got it off eBay built.
And decided to rip it apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I feel bad sometimes when I buy these models and I'm like, somebody put a lot of work into this and I'm about to just rip it apart just for one little scrap like this big.
I try to go for the more poorly built ones.
So do I.
Because there are some really nice ones, but sometimes they'll charge the person selling the pre-made model. Sometimes a little bit more expensive when they're really nicely done.
That's the 32-inch rear deck, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That just shows you how. Look how white that polystyrene is that it's laying on.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point right there. Point that out, the contrast.
Yeah, and people
it's not white.
People just paint their Falcons light grey and or white and just think that's the color of the ESB one. When it's quite. I mean, I know there's a lot of contrast in that picture, but it shows really, really how dark the Falcon for Empire was.
Tan almost. Tannish gray.
Yeah, that's a landing gear on the 5-foot one that you don't often see.
No, you really don't. Other than like the life-size one, right? Where they, the life-size where they go into.
Yeah, they did do landing gear for the. They did do landing gear for the 32-inch as well.
Yeah, because that lands on Bespin.
Yeah, this is well. That's confusing because that's Bespin as well, right? That's the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Cloud City.
Yeah, that's Cloud City. So they would have used the 5-foot and the 32-inch possibly on the.
On
the landing pad.
Is that the 5-foot from New Hope, or is it?
Yeah.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't build another 5-footer.
That is the 5-foot, right? God, I get so confused.
That's pretty big. No, that's not a 5-footer. No, yeah, it is. He's almost the size of him.
So what's making me think that's the 5-footer is that extra hole that's there. See?
This one.
So, yeah. I'll grab one. So, I think that is.
Hold on.
Where are we? That's that hole there.
Okay.
There. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That? So that would be the 5-foot. Because that's not on the 32-inch, I don't think. Could be wrong. I don't know. I've built so many Falcons and painted so many, and I still have to flick between them and make sure I know I'm definitely working on the right one.
So this is what the garbage scene where Slave One flies through, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just curious what they used. Like there's a wrap.
body.
Yeah, there's a rolled up scrap of paper.
That's basically an AT-AT without legs. If you look at it, that even the head's bent down.
Yeah.
That's
they had the Snowspeeder rear ring as well. Guy Cohen noticed that, and there's Sat V and all sorts in it.
This is just crumbled up paper.
Do you think tinfoil?
I think. Yeah. There's a better picture of the AT-AT. Very cool. Guess they got rid of an AT-AT that wasn't working.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that. Imagine coming across that dumpster diving, finding
somebody's must have. I mean, there's some of the stuff still sitting in storage units in people's homes, and
held on by paper clips, not paper clips, clotheslines.
Yeah, they just created like a rocker. Somebody just rocked the little chicken wire fence with the thing swinging out of it.
What's this? I didn't notice this.
That's a dish. Falcon looks like a falcon dish.
Looks like a dish, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah.
That's space debris.
Tell me this doesn't look like John Holmes.
Who's John Holmes?
The famous porn star.
I don't know who that is.
Look it up.
We don't watch porn, Chris.
What?
We don't watch porn.
No?
It's just you.
Just me.
I really don't know who John Holmes is.
He's very famous for having a very large model.
Oh, he's in the Reservoir Dogs speech. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino talks about him. Yeah.
He's from the 70s. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
So that
makes
that's Steve Gawley doing the New Hope Star Destroyer.
It's cool how they like acrylic must have been so easy to come by back then because
something like this today would be so expensive.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm looking at buying 2 pieces of acrylic that are like 32 inches by 1 foot, and it's going to cost me like $200.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've yet to find out how much that backforming stuff's going to cost. So look, there's Poltergeist in the background there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
These are cool pictures. Like you get to see.
Look at the size of the X-wing.
The X-wing is huge. Yeah, I put a couple of the large ones in. That I couldn't believe how big some of them were.
Now this is Jedi, right? Yeah, because there's the Rancor.
Oh yeah.
And the Death Star reactor.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of these faces though. There's the A-wing.
Bill George in there, isn't it? You just had Bill George on the left. Yeah, Lorne at the back.
That's Lorne.
Yeah.
Which one's Bill George? That Bill George? No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's that Ease guy, the slave one guy.
Yep. Charlie Bailey to the right, I think.
Wouldn't you just
look at the Rebel transport at the back
here,
right behind Lorne's head? Yeah. That I wish we'd seen it at that angle going on.
The B-wing is back there.
Yeah, A-wing. The B-wing on its side.
You get the B-wing too. Yeah.
Yeah. And the
I would love to do a transport.
The Tidarium.
I really would.
Look at the small tie with the hexagonal wings.
Right it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. What is that thing? That's intriguing.
There's another X-wing the size of this one.
Yeah, and then you get the small off-the-shelf model kit X-wings right there.
Yeah, the AMT or NBC ones. Yeah.
Yep.
There's so much cool stuff to look at in here. There's the Dornian.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the reactor.
And Home One.
Home One at the bottom.
I love that paint job. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It'd be impossible to replicate, but it's so cool.
Totally. That was what's left of Red 5.
Yeah. Wonder why they did that.
I don't know. Is that a probe droid leg?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like seeing the Slave One at that angle as well.
Yeah, so that's a great angle.
I think that shows a 32-inch with the landing gear. Yeah.
I don't know. That 30 is that the that's 2 foot foul. Well, that's smaller than Slave One.
No,
and the 32 inches is bigger than Slave One.
It is, but that's just the angle. That's just flat. I bet if you put that upright, it would be.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm looking as well.
Yeah. Cloud car. What's this back here? What is this?
That's the block. That's
blockade runner. The transport.
GR75, what it's called.
It's thinner than I thought it would be. Well, maybe it's
the
just
size of the collars, huh?
They're beauties.
That's Ken Ralston, isn't it? Sitting there.
Yeah, that's Ken.
Yeah.
It's a cool picture.
Every single one of those ILM model makers was just so talented in sculpting, model making, electronics, like vac forming, everything they could do, couldn't they?
And imagine compared to today. Like compared to today, you had to actually make shit back then. Like you couldn't just throw it in a computer and print it up.
3D printers and lasers and
laser cutters. You had to cut it with a fucking sawzall or a jigsaw and then sand it for hours.
All right, this is pale in comparison, right? But just to give some, just to get some perspective. You know how they always like talk about the pyramids, and you think about like how do they do those back then with today's technology and resources? It should be so easy, right? And it's interesting how these guys did this stuff 40 plus years ago, and even with today's technology, we're still finding it difficult to replicate some of these pieces. And we have far more technology that outpaces anything that they had at that time.
Just look at the memes you see with the roads. Roads built 300 years ago are still around, but roads today have potholes the size of me in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool picture. I like that one a lot. It's clear too. You can see some stuff. Yeah. It's this is really making it. I really am thinking I want to do one of these.
There's the Anagrand one that I built years ago, and I don't think that's far off studios now. But if you want a quick and easy build of one,
oh really?
Yeah, I'll send you the link. They're out of production now, but I think you still find them on eBay knocking about. They're good. Yeah, there's a few kits. They weren't that accurate, really. But the shape was a bit off. But it looks good on the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, all the colors, the pinks, the blues. I like it. I really like it a lot.
So that's weird because that's staged because it's painted white.
Yeah.
And that was before all the concrete went on and all the grime misting and all that sort of thing.
I mean, it's a picture they used specifically. So I'm sure a photographer came in and had him, hey, do this, pretend like you're working on it. Don't touch it. Yeah. Notice he has the gloves on. He's not really working on it.
No, that's a staged picture.
Yeah. I mean, stage pictures are great, but these are better.
So this is the same place, but doing Battlestar, isn't it? Look at all the kits. All the 8 rads piled up.
Yeah. This is a Battlestar ship?
Yeah. See, that's the Cylon Raider, isn't it?
Right.
The front
yeah.
See, I've never even seen it. And well, I probably watched it as a kid, but I can't tell you much about it now. But I really like that ship. Oh
yeah. Well, it's because it's so close to the Star Wars ships. The parts are the same.
Tons of Panther G all over it.
Well, that's a problem. Panther G. That
yeah.
I cannot find any. I found 2 and that's it. Well, you found 2 for me.
Yeah.
But I gotta find 8 more or something like that.
They're drying up.
Sorry, I'm sick.
The 32-inch with a 5-foot in the background.
Mm-hmm. These weights to hold down things. It's on in another picture. I noticed it's on another spot.
Oh yeah, I've never noticed that.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe get the styrene to the plating to settle down.
Yeah, the weights.
I think I'm gonna have to use that idea.
Yeah, definitely.
And here you can see some of the parts on the sides. The SAT-V. It's really cool. Make a 32-inch. Oh, see, it's over here.
You go. Look at that chipping. All the tiny little dots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine that would be frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. Try using CA with that.
Yeah. What did they use?
It'll be that liquid. That's like liquid cement stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, just the super glue from back then. It was very runny too and very sticky.
And it was a weld thing, I think.
Yeah.
Is that Panther?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Look at Ian had pencil holder.
Weight.
Yep.
It's a weight with a paintbrush in it.
Paintbrush holder. Yep. Okay, so let me ask you this. I know there's tools now to make these little cuts, right? These little, what do you call those? Those divots. Yeah. So did they have that same tool back then, or did they hand cut each one of these out? Okay.
Yeah, I think they had that tool. Yeah.
Okay.
Nibbler.
I forget what the tool is called or used for.
There's different shapes you can do on them.
Isn't it for like cutting leather or something?
You do leather, paper. It's all they're for all the various.
These are the cool pictures that you. So I pointed out the other day, I'm like, he's working off of a Polaroid when we're using like computers, phones, tablets, blown up pictures. He's working off of a little 3x3 Polaroid.
Yeah, but in that well is the Jag D Tiger, I think.
Okay.
So if he's working off, if he knows that there is a 135 Jag D Tiger body in the 5-foot one, then he can get a 148 Jag D, and it would fit in the right scale.
Good point.
I think that's how he's working it.
Probably. Good point.
Or that's just a picture of his wife and he's missing home.
Oh, yeah. I think he's a little young to have a wife. Morsa Carl, right?
God, yeah, you got better eyes than me there, Chris. That's...
Looks kind of like it.
Yeah.
That's only because I was looking at the box yesterday.
Yeah, well, you can help me out with that. Thank you for the parts.
Yeah, I found a couple.
And I need the barrels, and I haven't got them because I put them on the slate and cut them down.
I'll look.
Yeah, if you've got any, I'll buy them off you.
I'll look. So I grouped these together because there's a couple of them here. So this is what the kind of the final shot, like it was going to be shot, right? So
yeah.
And then there's other pictures where they're like setting it up.
Yeah.
That's when they blew through half the budget. And Georgia said, "Do we get anything?" They said, "Nope."
Yeah.
They threw this together and they dropped it, and they said, "Now we got some."
This is the first thing.
So yeah, you can see the piano keys in that first picture of the Death Star as well. If you go back, and again, there you go, background, top.
Up here.
Yeah, left. Those chunks, they're all Death Star tiles, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
What piano keys? These are.
No, left. That's it. We call that the piano key because it looks like a piano key.
Yeah.
They're lined up.
Not like an actual.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not from a piano, and they just call it the piano key.
Right. Well, why do they call it a piano key?
Just a quick way to recognize it.
Because on a piano, the black ones are raised, the black notes, and they look.
Okay.
If you look at the tile, I think that's how. I don't know.
Okay. Must be an English thing.
Maybe.
But yeah, I just thought it was cool.
That's a cool way to display the escape pod as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you had that upright.
I kind of like that display better than like it canted on the side. You don't see as much of it, but it's still kind of a cooler display for it.
Yeah, it's one model that can't be displayed very nicely anyway. I don't really like anyway. It's put up.
The only way I like seeing the top, the bottom, actually, the thrusters with all the C-Lab parts and stuff. That's the best part of the whole ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to see these three together because they're different angles, different different.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see the inside of that much, do you? You see it in the film open up, but yeah, you don't see much of that.
No.
And I like how it's painted as well.
Inside here.
Yeah, there's some time spent on the paintwork, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. And then what they drop? A little bit of like diamond dust or what's the real name for it? We call it diamond dust here, but it's like little shards of glass you find in like.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, that makes it look like it's all speckling.
The speckles, okay. Yeah.
So if you go back, Chris, there's a turret, panther turret to the bottom right on the flat surface. Go right. No, right on the actual panel.
Right. Oh, okay.
Down. There you go. That circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turret, and then on the back of the slope one, you've got that bit that goes across right in the middle.
Yep, right here.
There, yeah.
Yep.
I mean that would be quite fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
I like just this, even without the.
There's not a lot of original dial pieces that are scratch. People build dial pieces, right? Like diorama pieces, to display with the scratch models. But very rarely do I actually see a dial that's made from the original parts. That'd be a great fun build. I seen Lee do a portion of like the Return of the Jedi Death Star. I saw that image, but
yeah, it would, yeah.
But something like this would be, I mean, yeah, I can already spot quite a few pieces already.
Yeah, I mean,
we talked the other day, Jason, about a Death Star tile. Some of those Death Star tile pieces we saw, the ones with the colors, the kit parts on there, doing scratch building that.
The ones
before people don't understand the amount of color that's on the tiles.
So me and Chris talked heavily about that, John, where, again, right, it's one of those things visually or in our mind's eye that when you envision the Death Star, you just envision gray, kind of like the Falcon. And people paint them gray, but you don't realize that the tiles, I showed Chris one pic, there was greens, browns, yellows.
There's purple on them. There's weathered black. There's purple on some of them.
Yep, black and that purple's
Here we go. Here's one. You can see it a little bit, but like here's some of the darker colors. They're all different colors. It's not just gray.
Yeah, but it was shot outside in the sunlight as well, wasn't it? So all the colors are going to be washed out.
A lot of wash. Right. Yeah, it got washed.
Yeah, so one of those, they're the piano keys, Chris. What I call the piano keys.
Where?
So if you go up
here.
a little bit.
Oh, okay. Now I see why you call them piano keys, because they're sticking out of the wall. Okay.
And one of them there has been painted like that tan color, trench color, that trench run olive, whatever it's called.
Yeah. I have to. I don't know if I ever talked to you about this, Jim, but when the crane that you sent me, I always thought you took like artistic liberty on that because I just thought it would be gray. But then when you show me that picture where it's green, I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's not just artistic liberty.
It's olive, isn't it? Yeah, that's one of the colors that Guy's done from the Death Star tile that he had. Guy had a portion of a Death Star tile. He had this actually. This is the tile he had. So he had. This is just in primer, but on here was all the different colors.
Yeah.
So he color matched. You can't get better than that. Something that was used in the film, and he color matched it, and that's how he got that olive color, which I sprayed the crane with that you've got now.
I like that color a lot. It's one of my favorite colors. That when it goes on, how it looks, and I love it.
Yeah, it's another chameleon color. It's one of those colors that change in the light.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Let's see here. I sprayed a little bit on my silo too. But so you can see even here, you see like the olive color.
Yeah, that's it. That's the color.
Yep.
You can see your silos to the right.
Yep. This I want to build.
Yeah,
this deflection tower.
Yeah, that's got the 1/24 scale Panther Jeep sides, the fenders, isn't it? That runs up and down the side of it.
Okay.
Much like your I think does the silos have that? The 1/48
nope.
fenders that run up it? Oh,
no.
It doesn't. Okay.
No.
So that's got the bigger ones that are harder to find. That's the 1/24, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of annoyingly a lot of C-Lab.
Yeah.
Typically.
Well, hopefully that C-Labs come out like those reissue ones, and they're the exact same as the original ones, because I had 3 kits and I was God, too much money, way too much money, and for one piece.
Yeah, I can't believe you did it.
Yeah,
you've now got a very expensive model. That's really good.
It is a very expensive model. Yes. More. Okay, now I see piano keys. Gotcha. Okay. There are actually a lot of towers on this thing. I mean, tons.
One sec.
Jason, like all this stuff was thrown out though, right? Like this here is why you see so many prop store auctions of Death Star tiles.
Well, there was so many of them, but the annoying thing is they've cut them up.
Yeah, that's the problem. So John's right. One of the problems, Chris, is early on, actually they salvaged quite a bit of the tiles, but people were, the value wasn't even there yet, right, John? I think you can agree then. The value wasn't even there. I think it was just for novelty that people were taking these large bits of tile, and because it was biscuit foam, it was easy to cut up without damaging it, or damaging it completely. So they would get one large 24 by 2 foot by 2 foot piece, and they'd cut it down into 10 or 20 pieces. And that ended up becoming the fate of quite a few of these tiles. And then, some got, damaged or tossed or used for recasting. But you would think, of all the pieces in the Star Wars universe, you would think that Star tiles would be, just cumbersome. There'd be so many of them out there, but they're really not because of how they were treated after the fact.
Yeah. They were delicate. They were cut up. They were sold on. They were,
Yeah.
I just want one of these. That's all. Just one.
Well, Steve Neeson's got one in the works, but I keep bugging him. I'll ask him again. He's
Yeah, I've been waiting on that one for a bit. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
That should
it's
be
my
fun
favorite tile as well. I like the one with the round circle in it. The big bucket.
Yeah, they had one of those at Celebration with a round circle in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I get a few of the small 6-inch ones. This is before, again, this is going back 2012, 2013, when they were still a little bit easier to get and much, much cheaper to acquire.
Shoot, I didn't want to cancel that out. Because
that's another thing. Other people at that time were buying them, and then they were grouping them together and casting them as larger parts, and they didn't necessarily match.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, really?
Yeah, so they like the smaller 6-inch and 9-inch blocks. People were putting them together. They would get like 4 of them or 6 of them and piece them together and then make a cast of it.
All right.
So I wanted to get to. Oh, it was right where I wanted to be. Didn't get too much further. Okay, so we've seen this one. Pretty cool. Definitely staged.
I love this one.
Yeah. It is a cool one because he basically threw those designs in the garbage and made his own, really. But they're cool. But then like I wanted to go to this one. Okay, so he's building the attic, right? He's like, will you get that camera out of my face already? Like, that's one of those looks. I get that look a lot from my wife. Get that camera out of my face.
And it's not as if he wasn't, he had the leisure on his side. He was just jack of all trades. He was doing everything, wasn't he? He was doing storyboards, he was painting, he was, making the models, he was overseeing stuff. He didn't need someone sticking a camera in his face.
Right.
Yeah, I think he was burning out too during ESB.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. And then George was like, I'll pay for you to go to college and everything, didn't he? And get your
yeah. That's what made him stick around. He's like, I figured I'd just take a chunk of this money and go travel the world.
Yeah.
But he was this is all metal.
He went on to do Rocketeer and all sorts, didn't he?
Yeah, Captain America, Rocketeer. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, another classic.
Yeah.
But like, think about how they made these AT-AT skeletons. That's all metal, all machined. Like, imagine trying to do that today.
Like, well, that's what I was just talking about. It'd be so much more difficult to replicate it today than it would back then. And we have the technology we have today is just so far surpassed what they had.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. So John Berg is definitely one who doesn't get a lot of credit for. People don't realize how much of a hand he had in so much of this stuff, right? People just sort of chalk him up to some of the projects on A New Hope. But he was actually responsible. So when you see the AT-ATs in movement and you see the leg joints sort of spinning and shifting, kind of like rocking side to side, like real machinery, that was actually John who stepped in and actually worked on that and made that happen, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of unsung heroes, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's a nice little nuance. It's one of those things that you don't notice until somebody points it out, and then you can't unsee it after the fact.
There's your silo sailor, Chris.
Yep. I like this picture because they're side by side.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then Joe just was like, we got to dress up the Stormtrooper costume. You know what? Let's just break these two off and slap them on this, and I'll stick it to my bag.
It's pretty much what he did.
Yeah, filming finished for that set. Yeah.
I'd
so
love
there's
to see,
that's that Franzetta picture in the background.
Yep.
Of
the Death Dealer.
Death Dealer, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's his helmet on the side of the Empire, the ESB ATSD, don't we?
They hand drew that though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Sandcrawler. There's like, it's probably, is it on a garbage can? No, that's an actual table. But then back here you have the land speeder on garbage can. Look at this stereo. This stereo.
Yeah, the preamps back then. Even those were made better than they are now.
I don't think people realize how big this sucker is. No. I'm telling you. I have a video that I put together, and I realized after going through it and editing it how many times I said how big this thing is. And
it's taken up the whole behind my table right now.
It's humongous, and you don't realize how big it is. Even there, you can't judge how big it is. Jesus, it's massive. I felt bad. I was watching the video. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna be like, dude, we get it already. It's big.
Go back to the pictures, Chris. Don't want to see my ugly face.
Oh no, okay. I'm switching through pictures, and you got you still there. Look at those chops. That's interesting.
Man. I didn't know about those holes in the side.
Yeah.
The upper body?
Yeah.
I think originally, I don't know if it was meant to. Yeah, I don't know if it was meant to manipulate.
Honestly, guys, I think it's to take some weight off.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
You cut those holes out.
Yeah,
you take
the large one kept buckling.
You take a lot of the weight off the legs.
Yeah.
And look at the tape recorder down here. Love that stuff.
So far, I gotta say, to this day, when we used to do the collector spotlight videos, one of my favorite pieces I've ever seen in a collection was the AT-AT foot stomper that Gus Lopez has to put the footprint in the snow. I don't know. Yeah. I love that. It's such a unique piece. I just love it.
Yeah.
This is pretty clear.
Yeah. So they're Nichimo, 1/35th scale Nichimo Panthers on the back.
Where, up here?
Yeah, at the bottom there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're 1/35th scale Nichimo.
They must have had a shit ton of Panther G. It's just,
There's a Panther G up there. That's the 1/24th Panther G above. Yep. There's 3 of them.
Yep. Jag, Panther, Harrier.
Yeah, Harrier. Yep.
What's that? Can't tell. Got a bunch of these.
They're Phantoms.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Revell Phantoms, yeah.
Phantoms are everywhere too.
Yep.
This is clean. This is clean for a workshop during Star Wars.
Yeah.
Probably was in the beginning.
See, that's that. If you go back into the deck again, there's a Jag D body in front of those 130. No, go down.
Oh, here.
Yeah. See, there's a Jag D.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a Bandai. 148th Bandai. Next to the 130th.
Early stages, man.
Yeah,
early
absolutely.
Stages. Cool shit. Could sit all day here and look at these pictures. Oh, this is one of the things I wanted you guys to take notice too. You were talking about the spray booth back there. This guy's actually cutting off the flashing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the cast.
For the resin. Yeah, for the cast.
Most of the time, I think they only built one or two hero ties from scratch, and I think most of them were because they recycled them for the X1. They recycled it for the Interceptor, and I think a lot of them were sculpted. And John, I know you just finished a tie, but as I was going through the process and learning about some of the pieces on there, I was telling Chris this. I didn't realize how much of it was actually scratch built. Like a lot of the pieces that the guns, the little circular pieces that hold the guns in place and things like that. And it just seems like one of those things. Like, why would they exasperate so much effort trying to get this correct? And they probably could have just put something else there. But yeah, those are some of the pieces that I found more challenging when doing mine, for sure. But
so what are you doing on yours then? Are you scratch building girls?
Mine's about 70% scratch built. Yeah.
Oh wow!
And
Jason, you need to share more of your stuff. I never see your stuff.
Yeah, I share sometimes with Chris.
Oh, by the way, I want to point something out to you, Jason.
Yeah.
I was going through our pictures on our Facebook chat, and there are not one picture that you have sent me of a painted tie. Not one. I went through every picture.
Really?
Yep, not one. Because so we'll tell this little funny story. It's just a little funny story, right? So
remember I was sharing my guns with you. Remember, because I had to build the guns up from scratch as well.
You may have showed me some parts, but you didn't show me the paint job that you painted it. Remember we were talking about the paint?
Oh yeah, it completely finished. Yeah, no, it's not.
No. So funny story is the other day, Jason and I were talking about TIE fighter with the one that has the hexagonal sticker on, and then all of a sudden out of the clear blue, John, you sent me a picture. It was next morning, right?
Yeah.
You sent me a picture of Tony's tie with the hexagon sticker on, and I'm like, oh, did Jason talk to John about this tie, or did were they discussing it, or did John send the picture to me by accident instead of Jason? No, we were all just like thinking of the same thing at the exact same fucking time. Like it's like the same day we're talking about this very obscure TIE fighter, that and he and I are talking about it, and then you start sending me pictures of Tony's, and I'm like, it was just weird. It was just like Twilight Zone stuff. Like, it's happened one other time too, Jason, wasn't it? Well, I forget what it was we were talking about.
Yeah, it happened again recently. I forget what it was.
Yeah, the same thing with me, you, and John. Our brains are connected, even though we're not talking.
It was in real time because you're like, "Oh, were you and John talking?" Because you just sent me this, and I was like, "No, that's weird." I was like, "That is really strange."
Yeah,
it's funny.
It could have been any tie.
The tables have turned, haven't they, Chris? Because now I'm asking you what you recognize on ships.
Yeah, that is bizarre because I never thought that I would get to the point where I'm IDing stuff. Never in a million years did I think that.
Yeah, I'm like, do you know what this is? Because I know I've got it. I can feel it in my hand. I know I've got it. And you're like, yeah, that's Harrier. And I'm like, of course it is. And like, the box is next to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even used that part even yet. So I know I was going to a while ago for a background ship, but I haven't even used that part up yet. We lost Jason. Oh no, there he is. Hold on, let me bring him back in.
No, I was trying to start. For some reason, I don't have my camera hooked up. I didn't realize it. But when I go to start my camera, because it's not hooked up, it kicks me out of the room. But I was going to show you the tie on screen.
Send it to me.
Oh, all right.
Send me a picture of it. But yeah, there's
it's a beautiful thing, the tie. I think the one thing about the TIE Fighter is I think it has such big solar. The wings are so big that it hides all the amazing detail on the tie.
Yeah, and it's hard to display because unless you're looking straight at it, like you just.
I mean, if you take a picture of it and get the whole thing in one shot, then all the detail's lost inside the ball.
Oh, and that's the thing. It has so much amazing detail, right? And think about how many like P-34s and like all the car parts you have to go through, and just to get around the wings, all the Lockheed parts and the brake calipers, and that one. So not only do they get hidden because of the angle, but they also get hidden because the single contrast of color. There's no multiple tones, and I think that kind of hurts it as well. But it definitely was probably one of the more fun and challenging projects that I've undertook. It took me about a year. I think it was last November.
Did you start with the 2 hemispheres?
Yes. So I got a cast of a tie, and then I started taking sheets of styrene. I stripped it. I stripped all the pieces that were cast on top of it, and started taking sheets of styrene and getting comfortable learning how to shape it and scribe it or cut it. And that took quite a while. I did that for weeks until I started getting comfortable with that. And then it took months to even figure out like what parts were kit parts and donut parts, what parts were, done by hand. And that was just as challenging because I'm at a point sometimes where you just assume, oh, these had to come from some model kit, right? So you start looking like, what kit did this come from? And then you realize it didn't come from anywhere. It's something that was thrown together.
Built. Yeah,
it's just scratch built. And then it has the Plastruct T-tracks on it, but it has some of the tiniest, smallest T-tracks I've ever seen, ever. And trying to get your hands on those are really hard.
They're these ones, right?
Let me bring my screen.
I'll make it bigger.
I believe so. Yeah, they're like teeny tiny, right? They rest on the bottom and the top.
These are the one below the smallest. They're on the back of the Star Destroyer. But isn't it funny, Chris? Like Jason's describing how long it's taken him to like do that, but it's not because he's like slow or anything. It's just I've noticed there's 2 types of builder. There's guys like me and you, Chris, that just plow through everything. We need the kit yesterday, and we can't rest until like we can't think straight until we've got it. And then we just want to paint it, and we rush, and not necessarily rush, but I don't know about yourself, but and then you got guys like Marvin and Lee and Jason that literally just it flows slowly out of them, and they'll build it, and in the end they'll just appear with this magnificent thing that you're like, where did that come from?
Well, good.
Yeah, and I think it's just that I've noticed that pop up quite a lot with studio scale modelers, that it's either get it done, paint out the door, next model, do it, you just plow through them, get a collection or work for somebody like, commission work. Or you just sit quietly and just gather up kit parts slowly and just make it so identical and methodical and
that's definitely how I work, yeah.
Jason and I were talking about that yesterday, how I was looking at his ATST parts and his builds are very clean. Like they're almost Lee Ralph surgical. Okay. And there were times where Jason was telling me like, oh, I've sanded this down to the point where, I've done this. I'm like, Jason, nobody's going to see that. Like what, but that's just what I like to do. And I completely understand it, and it even like, what were we talking about? Like little divots or in the mold, right, Jason? And you say that you religiously fill it and make sure it's nice and smooth, and I'm just like, oh, that's battle damage. Like it just looks like something nicked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, I'll slap some paint. Well, once I slap paint on it, nobody will see it. I'm like, oh, I'll fill it, and I'll, even the tie, like, learning how to get each sheet, rounded nicely and scribed and aligned, and I'll even sand plastic together, like when we talk about the ATSD head, where I'll sand it to a point where you're almost melting the edges of plastic together from creating so much heat and friction, and it mends the plastic together and gives it that nice rounded, look to it. But also it's the learning process, right? Going through, figuring out what was done by hand, then how was it done? Why did they do it this way? What kits did they pull from?
You're doing it the correct way, I think. You're building up your arsenal of tricks and tips and how to build it, and then the paint will flow afterwards. Whereas I started with resin kits and styrene kits and building them, but I got the paint down, and now I'm having to unlearn what I've learned in the words of Yoda, and try and learn scratch building and kit bashing and working with original kit parts, which is so nice. Mm-hmm. But I'm finding it tricky. I'm like, I'll post pictures to like the groups like you guys and like Lee and Guy and that, And Lee straight away is like, John, slow down, enjoy it. You don't have to get this. You don't have to get this done in a few weeks. There's no time limit. You're not working on this build for anyone. And like guys often said to me, he said, why don't you just stop commission builds altogether and just sell what you've already built? Because then you've got no one pestering you. You haven't got to feel like you've got to get the stuff out the door, And he's totally right. But it's you need the cash to fund the next addictive project you've got in your mind.
Well, that was another topic we talked about, right? Because somebody had asked me recently, like, why don't you take commissions? And it's not that I'm against it or I don't want to. It's just that, and I've done one or two here and there, but it's that pressure, right? It's that I got to get this done. I have to, have it done in a specific amount of time. And as you were mentioning, I like to sit with the piece. I like to really work with the piece, and having to like race against it.
An art piece. It's artwork you're creating.
Yeah, and then having to have that feeling of like racing against the clock, I feel is a little bit stressful. Where I like also
now we'll only do commission builds. I've had to cancel it completely at the moment, but like Tony, Paminda, a few other people that are local to me in the UK that I can get stuff to, and understand that it's not. I every single day I'll have someone asking me to build them something on my page. And then sometimes you literally get people put a list. I need this, I need this, I need this. And I'm like, well,
I don't think people realize how much goes into it.
Exactly. You're like, I'm not a factory. I can't churn these out overnight.
Well, even resources. Me and Chris talk about sometimes too, John. When Chris first started taking on commissions, I said, look, man, I said, don't overlook the small things, right? Because Chris is very laser focused in the sense of like you said, I need this kit. I need it yesterday. And, I got to get this piece. And I'm like, Chris, hold on. I'm like, you got to think about the paints, the resources, the tools, all the things that you're not factoring in, because that costs hundreds of dollars as well. It's not just the cost of the kit, and it's not just the hours of time you're putting in. And I'm not trying to justify, commissioning or people who are reaching out for commissions, but I think people need to understand that, also when these guys are doing this was their job. This is what they did every day. This is what they got paid to do. Where when we're working on projects, we have lives, we have families, we have other jobs, we have things that we have to tend to. So, you have limited time to work on that and to get it done properly. But it's just a really interesting thing. I mean, I'm sure at this point, John, there's things that you can do with your eyes closed, right? Because you've done so many of them. But then there's other things where you do stop and go through that learning process and start to sort of go down that rabbit hole and figure things out and
absolutely
and better understand things. Yeah,
I'm learning vac forming at the moment, and I had something I'm working on, and in my mind I'm thinking, right, I've got the thing, then I've got the buck that needs to be vac formed. Let's run off to the local vac forming place and get it done. And I spoke to Guy, and Guy's like, no, you can't just go and do that, because when you vac form it, the buck is going to be stuck inside the plastic. You won't be able to get the buck out. You need to split that buck in half. You need to make a riser for it. So when the vacuum plastic goes over the top, you need to have a place where you can trim it. You just need to slow down and work it out. Otherwise, you're going to make some real big, expensive mistakes. And you have to just. I've learned the hard way a lot, and it's cost me dearly. But you're quite right. I'm at a point now where I can just. Well, sometimes I'll sit down at the bench for an hour before I've even picked up the knife, because I've been looking through boxes. Just going through boxes trying to find the right kit part.
Right.
And you would have thought, I mean, but it's a shame that all the stuff at the RPF has gone now, because that was a huge resource for all the hard work, all the pioneers have gone before us doing all this work, and we're now picking up the pieces 10 years later when it's, all this was ID'd years ago, but that's all
and
been
they've erased it.
Lost. All the pictures have gone. And,
yeah. That's frustrating. I get so mad when I go on the RPF and I'm like, oh, can you just leave the shit up there? Like, seriously.
And then Photo Bucket went, didn't it? Everything was through Photo Bucket or Photo and that closed down. So all those pictures now are gone.
But yeah, I feel like you and I, John, have like kind of like the ILM kind of mentality where it's do it. It's going to be quickly on screen. Like, like we're not rushing through things, but we like to get it done because I want to see the end product and I want to and I have another project I want to start down the road. You know, like it.
And I mean,
my
it's
head,
just my mindset goes like I'll worry that I'll lose interest.
I won't lose interest.
Oh,
I know
really?
that.
No,
well,
I
think he means on that particular build. Like he might get bored with it.
Like
yeah.
the Sandcrawler I've got behind me, that's been sitting there like that for 2 years because I've still got to do the running gear and I want to paint it. But now there's another project I'm thinking of, and it's just all that just gets left behind. The Slave 1 behind me, that's just, I've got so many projects started, and if it doesn't get completed in a certain amount of time, in my brain I'm thinking, just leave it, shelve it, I'll go on to the next.
See, I'll do multiples at once. And Chris, me and Chris have a very different, because Chris will do project 1, move on to, unless he's doing 2 of the same pieces at
Not
once.
so much anymore. I was like that, but now I have like 4 or 5 projects.
So I'll have like 3 or 4 things going at once, and I'll consistently go to piece A, chip away at that a little bit, go to piece B, chip away at that a little bit. And I'll do that over 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And it brings me a lot of joy, put some music on, get in the zone, just, and start getting into it. Yeah.
I went for a little lull where the commission work was just kind of spoiling it for me. And you said, didn't you, Chris? You were like, I'm so glad that you're back.
Yeah, like you can see it. Like you're sending, like I wake up to like 5 messages from you, or you're calling me at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, you got to remember, I forget sometimes that's like 11:30.
My wife, when you woke me up the other day, my wife says to me, "Who is calling you at 7 a.m.?" I said, "That's John. He forgets all the time that I'm 5 hours behind him." But you can tell like your passion is back, and like it's just this is supposed to be, and whatever you got to do to make it fun is it's what you got to do.
Exactly.
And
but on that happy note, I think I'm going to have to shoot because my phone's been beeping and showing messages. People have been calling, so I need to get back to work.
You're slacking. You extra long lunch break. They're going to fire you.
Yeah, I know, man. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I really do.
There's a lot of fun, John.
I appreciate you joining us, John. And maybe we can, a couple weeks, jump on again.
We'll try to make this a regular thing, John, because, I mean, there's, we'll try to figure it out. And we got 2 or 3 already now. We'll do some more, like at least once a month, at least.
Yeah, cool.
So,
all right, guys. Well, look, take care.
Thanks, brother.
Really pleasure, man. I'll talk to you soon.
See you later on. Bye.
Good show, man. Good show.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
And there's a lot to go through. I had sent some stuff over because you mentioned the Sandcrawler.
Let me see if I can bring those up. I'll just bring them up if there's specific ones you wanted to talk about before we head off.
I didn't know if it would bring up the message. I was trying to send it as a file. No,
I can go through pictures. There's no big deal. Just let me stop sharing so they don't see my porn.
So the one that Joe was just working on, the picture we just had up, some of this is probably common knowledge, but I was doing some reading the last couple of days, and I didn't realize that when they were going through the process of building the Falcon, they had eaten through about a fourth of the budget, about $25,000 at that time.
Oh, really?
And and then they found they had to scrap it, and that was those images that had the elongated chip that then became the blockade runner. And they're like, well, we can't nix this completely with all the money we spent eating up so much of the budget, hence that becoming the blockade runner for that particular purpose, to repurpose it some way.
Okay.
And then the Sandcrawler, because everything has a point of reference, right? Whether it's from a book or an image or a comic or something that Sid Mead painted or Corey had done earlier on in works that when he was working for Boeing and other companies. And I thought it was great because NASA in 1963 started fabricating the crawler transporter.
Oh,
and
yeah, I have that.
They came with that's where they developed
wrong way.
The Sandcrawler itself.
Wrong way. See if I can get that quick. There's a lot of good ones here, but
those are all the Falcon. Go back one.
We'll just show a couple.
So this was actually this is where they got a little bit of the inspiration for the TIE Fighter.
Oh, really?
From the steel rack. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can see it. I would have never thought that, but you can see it. So, come on. Oh, crap. Which one were we looking for? We were looking for the Sandcrawler.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. just like it, man.
Crawler, that's the NASA crawler transporter that they used as inspiration for the Sandcrawler.
Wait, is the Sandcrawler was inspiration for this or vice versa?
No, that vice versa.
Really?
This was built in the 60s. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense then. I'm just saying, this is a little...
I mean, that's probably a more modern image.
Yeah, it's a more modern image for sure.
But it was originally made in the 60s.
Are there any particular pictures you wanted to show before we head off?
No. Just had some stuff to...
There's one that I thought was very interesting, was that I'd never seen before. That was this one.
All the variations of the casts and builds.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Damn it, I did it again. Every time I click, it goes away. So yeah, there's a pyro cast, original ILM pyro pattern. I can't see it. Nose, red 4, red 3. They're all different. They're different.
All the small 5. Variations.
You know, just in like this curvature here, like it's there. It's just very different on each one. No, not that way. I'm gonna go this way.
All the variations of the probes, pattern, pyro, hero.
You wouldn't think they'd be different, but they are. It's pretty interesting. Here's that cast you were talking about.
Yeah, that, and then the guy we looked at that was casting the ties. It's interesting how many. It makes sense now to see that so much work went into scratch building a lot of the parts on the tie because they just recast it multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good show. That was a lot of fun. We knew it would be. Bill George.
Yeah, look at that monstrosity, huh?
It's freaking crazy.
I could do this all day, man. These images are great.
They are. They really are. A lot of the ones you sent me I already had. Damn, I hate when that freaking happens. Oh, here's some more of the Death Star.
The Death Star innards, yeah.
Imagine
that's all stamped brass.
Yeah.
Etched and stamped brass. Great detail.
It is. All right, man. I think that's good for today. I should go to work and do some stuff. I don't feel like it, but I should. I should do my emails and stuff. Hey, Dimitri, thanks for cool stream as always. Thanks, appreciate that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We got to do this again, Jason, for sure. Try to make it a little bit more. What's the word? A little bit more happen more often. Yeah, it's going to be at this time usually because John's can only do it through his lunch break. So, and by the time it's hard for me to get on at night because I my family, so much going on with my family and everything. So, check this out, brother. Look at this. You see it?
Yeah, that looks like some serial killer stuff right there.
I know. Underneath that,
looks good though. It looks good.
It does actually. I put the arms on, man. It looks real good. I just I cut it up and then I put it together with some metal strapping around the joints to get it where I wanted it to be. I'll have it together probably. Well, I don't know if I'll have it together this week. I'm going away, but I wanna dirty up my snow trooper costume a whole lot. It's a little too clean for me, so but it's turned out pretty good, man.
Should wait till it actually snows out and just go out in the snow in it and let it pick up some natural snow and dirt.
I'm too impatient.
You are too impatient.
I mean, look, just look. It's like messing up my room. I need to get it clean. Like I got snow trooper stuff on the ground there. It just bothers me. My room has to be clean. If it's not, it drives me insane. Like suitcase, but yeah, it's got to be clean.
I hear you.
But it was a lot of fun. Thanks everybody for joining us. This was a fun one, and it's always fun when we have John on. He's a cool cat to talk to and pretty knowledgeable. Been doing this a lot of years, and we appreciate
it's a nice
him
ebb
a
and
lot.
flow having John
on. So the duct tape is just to cover up the metal screws and strapping so that I don't cut myself or I don't rip the fabric of the snow trooper. So that's just covering up the structure that's holding that together. So, but yeah, I appreciate you joining us, everybody, and it's been a lot of fun, and we'll do this again for sure. Let me do the outro, and see you later, people.
All right, man. Have a good one.